Take it off the screen. We're in session at cause number 327-442. The case is style of State of Texas versus Jeffrey Dubon. Mr. Dubon, how are you doing? Good. Mr. Dubon, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Charles Rojas. Mr. Rojas, how are you doing? That's good. Mr. Rojas, Mr. Dubon's case is on the court's announcement. You have an announcement you'd like to make to Mr. Dubon?
We do, Your Honor. We received an offer this morning for a fine. We're asking for about 30 days so Mr. Dubon can come up with some money to pay that fine.
Okay, so we're gonna reset it on the plea docket.
Yes, sir.
Give us a reset date. Okay, your case is gonna be reset to October 11th, 2021. Mr. Dubon, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. All right,
Thank you.
sign your reset. We're in session and cause number 329280. The case is style of State of Texas versus Daniel Ayala Cardenas. Your full name is Daniel Ayala Cardenas. How you doing, Mr. Ayala Cardenas? Doing good? That's good. Mr. Cardenas, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. Charles Rojas. Mr. Rojas, you have an announcement you'd like to make, Mr.
Your Honor, Mr. Cardenas has been accepted to the diversion program. I think we'll set the sign in October.
Okay. Could you get a reset date, second week of October? October 18th. Okay, your case is gonna be reset to October 18th, Mr. Ayala Cardenas. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Rojas, I think your other client is not here. You had a third. Let's see. That's on it. Let's see. Yes, Jorge Macias.
He's in custody, Judge. He's ahead of felony.
Oh, he's in, okay. So we're gonna just reset that with the,
We're gonna take care of the felony. The felony probably here we set this.
okay, just let us know. All right. We're in session and cause number 321437-2. The case is style of State of Texas versus Charles Raymond Bussey. We have Mr. Bussey appearing via Zoom.
John Jaworski here for Mr. Bussey, Judge. We're not ready on the case yet. We're still doing some discovery. I still haven't got a link for the DA. They were supposed to set something up for me to view the discovery that they had. And there's a lot of videos involved in the case and some documents that I still need.
Mr. Boyd.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jaworski said y'all was supposed to say regarding discovery in just Charles Bussey's case.
And I think Sarah Snob was the DA at the time.
Oh, she's no longer here.
Yeah. So I don't know who took over from there.
We've had a couple of prosecutors between that time, but what we're going to do, I think they're going to, he said he's going to send you the.
Portal, Your Honor, I'll send you the link either right now in court or right after we get.
Okay, he said he'll send you the link either as soon as they get out of court.
Okay, that's fine, Judge. So
How much time do you need?
Probably 30 days or so.
Okay, could you give us a reset date?
Let me
Okay,
check
you
my
did.
calendar also. For
Okay,
sure.
yeah, do that. Check your calendar, because right now she's looking at October 20th.
Okay, hang on a second, Judge. I'll let you know for sure. I have a case in Galveston County on that date, Judge. Is there,
Okay.
the 19th is good if that's a good date. Actually, I take that back, Judge.
What about October 27th?
I could do that in the morning, Judge. That's fine.
Okay,
Either that or the
okay,
26th, 27th.
okay, so your case is gonna be reset to October 27th. You'll be sent your reset, and Mr. Bussey, stay in contact with your attorney. This will conclude your case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day. And you're free to go as well, Mr. Jaworski, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. Yeah.
You're welcome. Clifton Rodriguez, would you please get? We're in session and cause number 326-606. The case is style of State of Texas versus Clifton Bruce Rodriguez. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Rodriguez?
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Rodriguez, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Brent Turk. Mr. Turk, how are you doing?
Well, Judge.
Mr. Turk, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Rodriguez case?
Judge, Mr. Rodriguez actually has a pending felony in Hardin County.
Okay.
I think it's set the early part of October sometime. So we would like to ask the court if we could reset this misdemeanor to behind that to see what happens with that in Hardin County. I think that will probably give us a good guidance on how to handle this one.
Okay. Give us a date. Yeah, he says set in August.
It's beginning of October.
He says the beginning of October. So let's set it mid or the end of October. The 20th or 27th.
Either, let's do the 27th.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, that's fine. It's gonna be reset to October 27th. Mr. Turk, you can get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
You have a blessed day. And Mr. Rodriguez, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go as well. And you have a blessed day. We're in set, yeah. Hmm? Oh, okay, you need to tell, okay.
Yes.
We're in session and cause number 329-730. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Jason Oliver Chandler. We have Mr. Chandler appearing via Zoom. And we have Mr. Chandler.
Morning.
Okay, how are you doing, Mr. Chandler?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Chandler, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. James Macon, who is also appearing via Zoom. Mr. Macon,
Yes.
how are you doing? Saying, Mr. Macon, you're on mute.
There we go.
Okay.
There. We're fine, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Macon, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Chandler's case?
Yes, Your Honor, in Mr. Chandler's case. Here we go. Well, they've handed me the wrong file. I've got the wrong file. There it is. It's gonna be, at this time, we're gonna ask for 31 days. I don't have an offer yet.
Okay. So you need an offer. All right, give us a 30-day reset. It's gonna be reset to October 20 to 2021.
Your Honor.
And your reset will be sent to you, Mr. Macon. And Mr. Chandler, stay in contact with your attorney. This will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. Macon, let's
Yes,
see.
Your Honor.
Is Wesley, is that Calais or Calise?
Yes, Your Honor, he's going to be a plea.
Yeah, is he appearing, is he appearing on Zoom?
I'm
I
on
don't
Zoom.
see him, Your Honor.
Hold on,
I'm
somebody
here.
said- Okay,
There
that's
he
the guy that had iPhone. All right. Okay, Mr. Calais is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Calais, how are you doing?
Doing great.
That's good. Now, Mr. Macon, what is your announcement on Mr. Calais' case?
Set for a plea, Your Honor. I have several options on an offer that I need to get with Mr. Calais that'll dispose of.
How much time do you need?
30 days, Your Honor.
Okay, the case is reset to October 11th of 2021. Mr. Calais, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go. You have a blessed day.
Mr. Calais, call the office.
Mr. Macon, I think this is your, you only had 2 cases today?
That's all, Your Honor. That's it.
Okay, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. It went session and cause number 329622. The case is style of state of Texas versus Jason Bernard Holmes. We have Mr. Holmes appearing via Zoom. Mr. Holmes, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
Sir.
And Mr. Holmes, you're here represented by Mr. Quentin Brooker.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
That's correct, Judge.
Mr. Brooker, how are you doing?
Doing great, Judge. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Brooker, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Holmes' case?
Yes, Judge. I have been speaking with the state concerning potentially a pretrial diversion. So we're in the midst of trying to prepare that packet. If we could receive a standard setting, I believe we can get that in before our next time and hopefully be able to dispose of this matter.
Okay, give us, yeah, pretrial is in October, right? But if he hadn't got the packet in, it may be December, right? The next one. Okay, give us a December date. Okay. Mr. Brooker, this case is being reset to December 13th to give you an opportunity to get your information into the DA's office for the pretrial diversion. And the date that we're setting it for is the second week in December, because the DA's office have pretrial signing every other month. And so the next one's coming up in October, and I don't anticipate that they'll be able to approve you by that time and get you signed up. So we anticipate that if you get into the program, it'll be in December, the first week of December. And so
Yes,
we'll
sir.
set the date for the second week of December, which is December 13th of 2021. Your reset will be sent to you. And Mr. Holmes, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. This will conclude your case. You're free to go. And you have a blessed day. And Mr. Brooker, you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you, sir. You have a
Yes,
good
sir.
day.
Thank you.
All right. Hold on a minute. Mr. Gilthorpe, could you put your mic on mute? Thank you. Yeah.
I just have one quick announcement. I have a hearing in Jasper at 10:30 and a
Okay.
final in Orange at 11.
Have your Sevilla?
Yes, sir.
I think, would you
Right on that, Judge, just real quick.
okay, what a bill, okay.
Apparently, Mr. Rodriguez has a second charge. That's why he was arrested. That was filed in July. He doesn't have a bond set. I was hoping to get an amount before he headed out there.
Well, I mean, I'll take a look at the, yeah, I won't be able to look at it now. I have to, yeah, just hold on to this here, once we in the docket.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. We're in session in cause number 322094. The case is styled of State of Texas versus Abigail Aguirre Sevilla, is that correct?
Yes, sir, just Sevilla.
So, huh?
Just Sevilla. Yes,
Sevilla?
yes, sir.
Okay. How you doing, Miss Sevilla?
I'm okay, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Ms. Seville, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Jason Nix. Mr. Nix, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's good. Mr. Nix. Let's see. Do you have a announcement you'd like to make in Ms. Seville case?
Your Honor, I think we're actually pretty close. The state tendered a possible offer this morning, but they need to speak with their victim first before it can be cleared as an official offer.
Okay.
However, if that goes well, I think at the next setting, we'll resolve this.
How much
case.
time do y'all need?
45 days.
45? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
If it changes, we can just call and change
Okay.
it.
What date is that? November 1st?
November
Okay.
1st.
Okay, Ms. Seville, your case is going to be reset to November 1st of 2021. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Nix, you have a blessed day as well and have a safe trip.
Thank you, Judge.
And you're free to go. We have somebody on Zoom named Kennison. Disappeared. Kennison. See. Would you please call Rosie Walters? We're in session in cause number 324334. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Rosie Walters. We have Ms. Walters appearing in court. Ms. Walters, how are you doing?
This is fine. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Walters, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. David Grove, who is appearing via Zoom.
Oh, here he is.
Mr. Grove, how are you doing?
Good, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Grove, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Ms. Walters' case?
Yes, sir. Miss Walters would like to set her case for trial.
Okay, just hold on.
Trial.
Okay, hold on for a trial date. Okay, the case is reset to November 29th. Mr. Grove, you'll be sent a copy. You'll be sent the reset notice. This is your only case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day. And Ms. Walters, you can stand over here on the X in front of our peer coordinator. She'll reset your case. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day and stay in contact with your attorney. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you're welcome. You're free to go. You have a blessed day.
This way, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we're in session and calls in two cases, calls number 326980 and calls number 327240. Both cases are filed in state of Texas versus Taurus Marquis Gidry. Would you please get Mr. Gidry? Taurus Gidry. How you doing, Miss Maxie? You on mute?
If I can get myself together over here, Judge, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I see that. And you turned it off, you had it on mute, and then you turn the video off.
I'll get it together at some point, I promise.
Okay. Mr. Gidry, you can come on up here. What happened to this? Matuska, what happened to Matuska?
I'm here, Judge.
Oh, I was looking for the name Matuska. All right. Okay, now your full name is Taurus Marquay Gidry. How you doing, Mr. Gidry? You doing fine? Mr. Gidry, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. Ryan Matuska. He's appearing via Zoom. Mr. Matuska, how are you doing?
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Mr. Matuska, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Gidry's cases?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. We'd asked for an announcement setting. We're waiting on the DVDs, which were requested on July 26th.
Discovery, okay. Could you give us a? October 20th or the 27th? Which one is?
The 27th, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Gidry, your cases are going to be reset to October the 27th. You can get your reset, stand on the 4X, get your reset from the court coordinator. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. All right. And Mr. Matuska, this is your only case that you have? Your only
Yes,
client?
sir, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go as well. Your reset will be sent to you and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
Is it Don Lee Smith? Okay. We got a couple of folks out of town. Let's see, is Ty Daigle here or Jeremiah Alfred?
Your Honor, on Mr. Daigle, I've been in communication with his attorney, and he's going to come in and plea on the 20th.
Okay, I mean, oh, is that his attorney?
No, Jeremiah Allen.
Oh, okay. Okay, he didn't,
I don't know if he contacted the court himself.
I don't know, I just see his name on the docket. Ty Daigle and Don Lee Smith is the attorney?
Yes, Your Honor, he's out of town.
Yeah, we'll have to check with the coordinator on that. Okay. Is Jeremiah Alfred? Could you call the name of Jeremiah Alfred?
He's present, Your Honor. We're going to try to work out.
Okay, just have him to come on in. Once y'all come on up. Y'all trying to work out a plea
Yeah.
today?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody I need to. Let's go ahead on and do that. Do you have the paperwork on that? Jeremiah Alfred. Oh, yeah. Gilthorpe. Oh, he gave me one. He gave me, the prosecutor gave me that. They had two.
You okay?
Well, we have one, but the defense doesn't.
Yeah, you can get at, the defense could use that. Well, they still need to have one. No, leave that out there for the defense, so when when they come in, they have to have one to use. No, they have the two tablets in the DA's office. Yeah.
We're supposed to be getting. the first
Chip short.
Is Brianna Hensley here? Mr. Gilthorpe, we're going to see if Miss Hensley is here.
Okay.
Okay, that's you. We're in session at cause number 322-359. The case is styled, the state of Texas versus Brianna Nicole Hensley. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Hensley?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Hensley, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Jared Gilthorpe. He's appearing via Zoom.
Okay.
Mr. Gilthorpe, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Gilthorpe, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Ms. Hensley's case?
Yes, Judge, we're ready.
It's on the announcement docket. You have an announcement?
We're ready for trial, Judge.
You say you're gonna reset it? Okay, we're gonna set it for trial. Hold on a
Yeah.
minute. Hensley, Brianna Hensley, she's at the bottom of page 1. Reset it for trial. Give us a trial date. Okay. Okay, it's gonna be reset to November the 29th of 2021. Mr. Gilthorpe, your reset will be sent to you, Ms. Hensley. You can get your reset from our court coordinator.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna stand on the 4X. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Can I ask you a question? When is this gonna be over with? I've been coming for almost 2 years.
Talk to your, I know we've had COVID, talk to your attorney.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
I'm just ready for it to be over with. That's all.
just hold up a minute. You can stand right back right there so we can,
You said it was reset to what?
November 29th of 2021.
Okay, thank you. My husband comes in for court, I think maybe tomorrow or the next day, and it's for the thing, and
Okay,
I hope.
Okay. Just stand on the 4X, get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. Make sure you stay in contact with your attorney and your bouncer.
Yes.
And you have a blessed day.
You too.
Mr. Gilthorpe, do you have another case?
Yes, Judge, I have Ashley Alfaro.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's on the trial docket. That's, we're gonna call that docket at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
All right. Let's see, we have somebody named Katie Jefferson.
Me.
Okay, just,
Yes, Your Honor.
you can, hold on, she just,
I'm on this petition.
okay, Ms. Jefferson. Could you check and see if is Claire Arrington here?
She is right outside the door, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Arrington, you can come forward. This is cause number 329776. The case is South State of Texas versus Claire Arrington. Hold on a minute. Mr. Moe, would you please put your mic on mute?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Arrington, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Arrington, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Paget. Mr. Paget, how are you doing?
Good morning, Your Honor. Good seeing you.
Good morning. Nice seeing you as well. And Mr. Paget, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Ms. Arrington's case?
Your Honor, the only, we are waiting to complete discovery. We have everything but the video on the case. We also need an offer, which I'll contact Mr. Boyd on.
Okay.
That once the video comes in, we've had an opportunity to review.
How much time you need?
Your Honor, the request on video was made some time ago, so I'll go upstairs and check on that. Possibly I'll put in another request, actually.
Okay, give us a date. We're gonna keep it on the announcement docket. That's fine.
It's been several months since I put in a request on the DVD.
Okay, it's October 25 for you.
That works, Your Honor.
Okay, the case is gonna be reset to October 20th, 2021. Ms. Arrington, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And we have another case for you. Mr. Paget. Okay. Mr. Paget. The court coordinators need you to sign.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay, this is cause number. Okay, this is cause number 328378. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Catherine Jefferson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jefferson is appearing via Zoom. Ms. Jefferson? Just here earlier, what happened?
She was just right on the screen.
Oh, that says Katie Jefferson.
She's up there.
Ms. Jefferson, can you hear me?
She might be muted.
No, she could be muted, yeah, I guess.
I was just looking at her.
Where did it go? Oh, there she is, okay. Okay, how you doing, Ms. Jefferson?
I don't know, going in and out. I'm fine. I'm sorry. My connection keeps going in and out.
Okay, we can hear you. Now, Ms. Jefferson, you represent Mr. Paget. Mr. Paget, you have an announcement you'd like to make, Ms. Jefferson?
Your Honor, we had applied for pretrial. I've received an answer on that. I've also received an alternative offer and I've reviewed discovery. I just have not had an opportunity to sit down with Ms. Jefferson because of the COVID situation. So if you would give us 30 days.
Announcement.
I can relay everything to her, yes, Your Honor. And this case will be disposed of, Your Honor.
Okay.
I just need an opportunity to sit down with her.
Okay. Which one? Plea docket, announcement docket?
Either one, whatever pleases the court. I mean, the case will be disposed of on that. What date is it?
The same day that you had the case. Okay. Okay, it'll be 10/20, well, October 20th of 2021. Ms. Jefferson, your case is being reset to October 20th of 2021. Stay in contact with your attorney. And this will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Paget, I think this is your last case. Okay. Mr. Paget, once you get your reset, you'll be free to go as well and you have a
Thank you,
blessed
Your
day.
Honor. I'll contact you today, Ms. Jefferson.
Mr. Reynolds. Ryan Short. Check it. I'll see if Ryan fought. Oh, he's on Zoom. This is cause number 329330. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Ryan Foster. We have Mr. Foster appearing via Zoom. Mr. Foster, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Let's see, Mr. Foster, you're represented by Attorney Nathan Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Reynolds, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Foster's case?
Yes, sir, Judge. We have received discovery and also an offer from the district attorney, and we'd ask that this case be placed on the trial docket.
Trial docket. Okay, give us a date. Okay, the case is going to be reset till November 29th of 2021. Mr. Reynolds, your reset will be sent to you. This is I think this is your only case.
I believe so, Judge.
Okay, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
All right, you too. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Mr. Foster, your case has been reset for trial on November 29th of 2021. Stay in contact with your attorney. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. We're back. Mr. Bailey, would you please call Milton Brown? Okay, this is cause number 325146. The case is Style of State of Texas versus Milton Brown. We have Mr. Brown appearing in court. Mr. Brown, how are you doing? That's good. Mr. Brown, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Tom Burbank, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Burbank, how are you doing?
Doing fine this morning, Your Honor. Good morning, and good morning, Mr. Brown.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Mr. Burbank, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Brown's case?
We are ready for trial, Judge. Asked to be placed on the trial docket.
Okay, just give us a date. Okay, the case is going to be reset to November 29th of 2021. Mr. Burbank, you'll be sent your notice of reset. I think this, you have another one. That's okay. And Mr. Brown, you can get your reset. Get down to 4X on the floor and stand in front of the coordinator, and she'll give you your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And Mr. Burbank, you have Robert White. He sat on the trial docket. What's your announcement on that?
We are ready, Judge. If I may, the last time we were in court, this is a UCW. It was prior to the September 1st changing of the law. The district attorney and I were of the opinion that after September 1st, based on the circumstances of this case, it may not be a criminal offense anymore.
So you had talked to the prosecutor, you said?
Well, the prosecutor at the time of the last court hearing, we were of the opinion that this might not be a criminal offense anymore.
Who was the prosecutor that was that?
The gentleman that's standing right in front of you.
Oh, okay, Daniel Boyd, okay.
Good morning, Mr. White. How are you today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly check with our office on that, but I'm not saying that it wasn't going to be necessarily an offense. Certainly review our office with it.
Okay, yeah,
We're
they're not,
ready.
so you're
No,
not ready?
We're ready then. No, we're ready. This case is average at best. And we're ready to go. We'll pick the first 6 people out there. We could do it today.
Okay, now, yeah, we have a jury coming at 1:30. Okay? So y'all need to be back
That's fine.
here. Okay. Okay, we said at 1:30. Now, Mr. White, your case is set for trial today. Your attorney announced ready. You need to be back here at 1:30. All right?
I'll be there a little before 1:30.
Yes.
Judge. Thank you.
Okay, and that's your, okay, that's your only case?
That's
Okay.
it.
Okay,
I have to get to the gym. Mine is not even filed yet. It's gonna be recessed.
you said it's not filed.
Yeah, I have a case that has not been filed yet.
It wouldn't be, I wouldn't have jurisdiction if it wasn't filed.
Well, it's in your court.
Well, it must be filed then.
Well, they told me it's,
Hey, he got a new case? He got a new case or something?
Maximo. Legend.
You said it's on the trial date? Oh. Okay, yeah, Maximo Leja?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a family violence case.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's on the trial docket. Yeah, he's on the trial docket.
Well, I don't have discovery and all that.
Well,
Okay.
yeah. Well, what we need to do right now, we'll just have him, he's still set on the trial docket.
Okay, well, I'll announce from the jail, since I'm trying to get over there.
Okay, you can go, I mean, anytime you got a client in jail, you don't have to come here because they're at jail. Okay. Okay, who else we have? Do we have Mr. Clinton? Let's get Lawrence Clinton. Okay. Okay. Clinton. Okay. Thank you. This is cause number 328896. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Lawrence Leroy Clinton. Is that your full name? Okay, Mr. Clinton, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Clinton, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Clinton?
Good.
That's good. Mr. Clinton, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Don Boudreaux. Mr. Boudreaux, how are you doing?
Judge, go ahead, sir.
That's good. Mr. Boudreaux, do you waive a record in Mr. Clinton's case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Clinton, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about January 16 of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Clinton, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Mr. Clinton, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Mr. Clinton, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. Ms. Clinton, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Now, on page 2 of this document, let's see, I think he must have signed it. He need to put his initials here. Right here where it says no contest, he need to put his initials. He signed it. Okay, so I'm gonna hand this back to you. He could erase that and put his initials. Okay. The back of that stylus is it acts as an eraser. Just put your initials there. Okay. I get it. Okay. Now, Mr. Clinton, on page 2 of State's Exhibit number 1, there's a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of the same document, Mr. Clinton, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes.
On the next document, which is the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is that your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Mr. Clinton, I have another document here. This document is titled the Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Clinton, prior to signing initially these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor, the state would.
Any objections? Okay, no objections. State's Exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Boudreaux, you have advised and counsel Mr. Clinton. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Mr. Clinton, your attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Clinton, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Excuse me. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we do. The agreement is that Mr. Clinton will receive 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, that time will be probated over 2 years. He will pay a $500 fine, have 72 hours of community service. He's going to attend drug education classes and also have alcohol and drug screen and interlock will be required.
I have a copy of this. I need a copy of this. Affidavit. When did you see? Yes, it should be in his file.
Yes. 180 over. Okay.
Oh, it's
I'm sorry. What?
the paperwork over here said 2.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what the original. It should be a 1. Okay.
Okay, let me get y'all a change. Here you go. He gonna change. He's changing the plea. Instead of 180 days probated for 2 years, it's probated for 1 year. So that's gonna change, she has to redo the paperwork. Yeah, here you go, yeah. In his file? Mr. Boudreaux, were you appointed on this case?
No, sir.
Oh, you was hired, okay. Okay, don't worry about that. Just go ahead and redo it. She has to redo the paperwork. That's gonna change the amounts that he has to pay per month. You know.
Yeah, that will.
Thank you. Hey, Mr. Clinton, the state is offering that you pay that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs. The court cost is $422. The total amount of the fine and court costs is $922. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, for your analysis fee of $15 each month. You'll be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. And should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. The total amount of money that you would have to pay in monthly installments is $160 a month. Will you be able to pay the $160 per month?
Yes.
You will also be required to perform. Oh, it's 75 hours on here. You must have said 72 because I wrote 72. So the community service is what?
72.
Oh, it's 72?
What does the judgment say?
75.
Okay.
It went with that's what's on the form.
That's what my understanding was.
What?
75. 75.
Okay. So you also be required to perform 75 hours of community service. You'll be required to attend and complete a DWI education class, have an alcohol drug assessment, and you will install an interlock device, a DWI interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Clinton, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
I guess.
Okay, and do you accept,
If you do wrong, you pay for it, so.
Well, that's true. Now, do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Okay, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Clinton, please stand on the X next to your attorney. And once you're gonna follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following the directions of the clerk, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. All right, and you're welcome, and you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Boudreaux. Okay, and you'll be free to go as well.
You won't be able to see it, but I can see it. Sign the contract one.
Okay. Oh, what horse is that? I saw Macintosh. Is Mr. How you doing, Mr. McIntosh? All right, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Porter is could you check and see if Cody Morris is here?
And you have no pending criminal charges against you. Here's your paperwork, the copy of the map to probation. You need to.
I had called his name, Judge, and there was no answer, but he may have showed up recently.
Oh, okay.
That's it?
Yes. Yeah, we still doing announcements and we kind of going back and forth on it. Let's see. Okay. Making focus. Here. Okay, Mr. Bailey, would you please call the name of David James? He must be in the back.
He is.
Mr. James, would you come forward? This is cause number 326738. The case is styled the state of Texas versus David Wayne James. Is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. James?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. James, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. Ted Johns Jr. Mr. Johns, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Johns, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. James' case?
Here's the situation. Mr. James, I just got his most recent medical records. He's a veteran suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome, and he's charged with 911 abuse where he's called 911 situation. I won't get it factually. The Veterans Administration says he has a delusional, he has voices in his head. I'm gonna ask that we shift him to Veterans Court. I provided the prosecutor with the medical record.
Yeah, I think that's just an application. You got to apply with the DA.
I'm gonna have to learn how to do it because I talk.
There's isn't there an application up there, Mr.?
I believe so, Your
I
Honor.
think it's just a one-page application, and I think,
I'm gonna speak with Mr. Morfino. Your
yeah,
Honor.
Morfino.
She's the one running the
Yeah.
program?
Yeah.
So
you're gonna apply for
Yes, sir.
Veterans Court?
Yeah, if you don't, I don't want to extend this in too much longer, so I mean, 30 days for me to get to apply for, because I just got his new latest medical records.
Okay,
Okay,
let's, so if he's a veteran, I think, yeah, they can apply for Veterans Court. Okay, so we're gonna reset him, 30 days, and we make a note that he's applying, that his attorney is
Yes, sir.
applying for Veterans Court.
10/20.
It's gonna be reset to October 2021.
yes, sir.
Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. And I think there was a form in one of those little slots over there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. And, okay, I'll CC both of you. Now, you scheduled for operation this week? You scheduled operation. There's medical issues too, so I'm gonna apply for it, but I may end up in a situation where you see me again with him. He'll continue because he has some medical issues where he has to have certain kind of operation.
Okay, yeah,
But,
okay,
if we're on top of it, we're gonna get this done. sir.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you for your service, sir. All right. Okay, who else we have? Okay,
Thank you.
okay, you're welcome. If you have any paperwork ready, just let me know. Wilkerson, you ready on any of your cases? Oh, okay, I see you signing one guy up, Crump. Yeah, I think the paperwork is not ready on that.
Okay, paperwork, and then, yeah, we've got to, for Judge, I do, I'm pre-trial for Judge West on Zoom at 10:30 and the doctor's appointment at 11:15, so I'm kind of, I'm in a pinch right now, Judge.
Okay,
But, I think I'm just gonna have to.
just whenever you get your paperwork, just let me know, so that's the person we'll go with. Let's see, Mr. McIntosh, you handling Bruce Smith's cases
Yes,
today?
Judge, that's what I was supposed to speaking with Ray about.
Oh, he's talking to Ray? Okay, we'll
Yes,
hold
Judge.
on him then. That's because I think you have a guy on Zoom too.
Yes, Judge, I do.
Okay,
I have to printing right now.
you have Tinoco printing?
Yes.
Okay, we're in session in cause number 329-102, case is style of state of Texas versus Juan Jose Tinoco. Your full name is Juan Jose Tinoco? Mr. Tinoco, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Tinoco, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tinoco, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Tinoco? You doing fine?
Yes.
That's good, Mr. Tinoco. You're here represented by your attorney, Mr. William Wilkerson. Mr. Wilkerson, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Wilkerson, will you waive your record in Mr. Tinoco's case?
Yes.
Mr. Tinoco, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about November 27th of 2020, while you're in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of accident involving damage to a vehicle. Mr. Tinoco, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Tinoco, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? You, okay, Mr. Tinoco, I also have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonished was also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Tinoco, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box checked Nola Contendere. Are these your initials?
Yes.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document, which is the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
There is one box that's checked at the top of this document, and that box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document before me. This document is titled the Discovery Certification. Mr. Tinoco, do you recognize this document?
Yes. Sir.
And is this your signature above the document?
Yes.
Okay. He needs to date that. Today is the 8th of September. Okay. Oh, that's fine. Mr. Tinoco, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor, we would.
No objection, Your Honor. And you would also like to offer State's Exhibit Number 2?
Yes, Your Honor, we would.
A probable cause affidavit, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
No objection, State's Exhibits Number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Wilkerson, you advised and counsel Mr. Tinoco. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Tinoco, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Okay, Mr. Tinoco, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we do. The state is asking for 1 year of deferred probation with a $500 fine and 40 hours of community service.
Mr. Tinoco, the state is offering that you serve a 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the deferred adjudicated probation period, you will be required to pay a fine of $500, a court cost of $342, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $842. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and your total monthly installments, that is the amount that you would have to pay each month for this probation, is $155 a month. Will you be able to pay the $155 each month?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Tinoco, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Tinoco, if you successfully complete this probationary period, it will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, about the non-disclosure. He's quite competent in those matters. Mr. Tinoco, stand on the X next to your attorney. You're going to follow the directions of this clerk, right here. And once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Place your right thumb on the pen.
Yeah, no, we're waiting to see if the paperwork is ready on the next one.
on that case, Judge, he is pleading on one and resetting the
I'll
other
say-
one for trial. We can do the plea on the trial setting date for the other one if that's agreeable.
You'll sign the takeout. You won't be able to see it, but I can see
If
it.
that's what y'all want to do, then that's fine. So I think we're gonna have to take that out of the system then. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying they're gonna have to take it off the,
We'll do that, Judge.
okay.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear that you have been given to her or straight probation in the state or any other state? And you have any other criminal offending charges on the state? Paperwork for the max of probation, you need to report to us.
You have enough? The crime,
That's yours, right?
he's not doing that. They're gonna reset that on a different day. They decided that they're not gonna do it
So
today.
we're not doing?
No.
You don't have to worry about the paperwork from now on. Okay. Thank you.
All right, go ahead on and just, okay, who's next? Who we have next on? You have anybody else paperwork ready?
So can we just,
On Crump, have Crump to come in? Does Crump have a, are there, look at, Trina, could you check and see if he got bond conditions? I need to see that before we let him go. He's on page 2 at the top, cause number 32. Okay, we're in session and cause number 324260 and cause number 324262. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Randall Shane Crump. Okay, we have Mr. Randall Shane Crump appearing in court. Mr. Crump, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Crump, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. William Wilkerson. Mr. Wilkerson, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Crump's cases?
Your Honor, we want to place the assault family violence case on the trial docket, and with that, at the next trial sitting, we'll be pleading the other case.
Okay. Okay, give us a trial setting.
December 6th.
Okay, it's gonna be reset December 6, 2021. Okay, Mr. Wilkerson, you could get your recess. Once you get your recess, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Crump, once you get your recess from your attorney, you'll be free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Okay, you have this, thank you.
Okay. We have anybody else ready? Let's see, Mr. Gilthorpe. Okay, we're in session in 3 cases, cause number 320305, cause number 323465, cause number 329263. All 3 cases are styled the state of Texas versus Ashley E. Alfaro. We have Miss Alfaro, I think, appearing via Zoom. Ms. Alfaro, you can take your mic off of mute. How are you doing, Ms. Alfaro?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Ms. Alfaro. You represented by Attorney Jerry Gilthorpe. Mr. Gilthorpe, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Gilthorpe, your cases, or Ms. Alfaro case is set on the trial docket, what's your announcement on these cases?
Judge, we're ready.
Ready? Okay. Okay, we have a jury coming at 1:30 today. Just make sure that y'all here at 1:30.
Okay, Judge, I'll be there.
All right. Okay, y'all free to go.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Alfred is printing. Once you get Jeremiah Alfred. Oh, you must still be in the document. 'Cause okay. Where's his attorney? His attorney. You can have a seat till your attorney comes in. Oh, there he is.
That's cool.
We're in session at cause number 327-498. The case is style of State of Texas versus Jeremiah Lloyd Alfred. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Alfred? I'm doing fine, thanks, Max. Mr. Alfred, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. J. Brian Kilpatrick. Kirkpatrick. How are you doing, Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Doing well.
That's good. Mr. Kirkpatrick, will you be waiving a record in Mr. Alfred's case?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Will you be waiving a record in Mr. Alfred's case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alfred, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about July 16th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon. Mr. Alfred, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alfred, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Alfred, there's a set of initials on a line that's checked next to a box that's checked guilty. Are these your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Mr. Alfred, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification, the Defendant's Right of Appeal, there's a signature. Well, do you recognize this document? Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up rights. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the person that have Chantel Turner, would you please put the mic on mute? Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see. Now, I have another document here, Mr. Alfred. This document is titled the Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, date that. All right, thank you. Now, Mr. Alfred. Prior to signing and initially these documents that I've just mentioned, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, the trial court certification, defendant's right of appeal, and your discovery certification. Did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor, we would.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Kirkpatrick, you have advised and counseled Mr. Alfred. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, excuse me, Mr. Alfred, your attorney, Mr. Kirkpatrick, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alfred, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Hey, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is for Mr. Alfred to serve 1 year of deferred probation with a $500 fine and 60 hours of community service. In addition to that, he will be forfeiting the firearm of which the state is presenting the motion.
Okay. Yeah, I was going forfeiture. Mr. Alfred, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year deferred adjudicated probation period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $287, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $787. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month and a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. The total amount of your monthly installments will be $150 per month. Mr. Alfred, will you be able to pay the $150 each month?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alfred, you'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service, and you'll forfeit the weapon, in this case, in cause number 327498. I have a motion to forfeit the weapon. Mr. Kirkpatrick, do you recognize this document? The motion to forfeit. Is that your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Now, prior to signing and initialing this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in this document?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Kirkpatrick, I think, Mr. Shearer, you have to sign it. Is it? Yeah. Okay. Mr. Kirkpatrick, I'll be granting the state's motion to forfeit. Let's see. And Mr. Kirkpatrick, you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Mr. Alfred.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Alfred. You'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. And Mr. Alfred, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Alfred, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Alfred, if you successfully complete the probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record as a conviction. and you may qualify for a non-disclosure, you can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure. He's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Alfred, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, Mr. Kilpatrick, and then you're gonna follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following the directions of the clerk, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Kirkpatrick, you have a blessed day and a safe trip. Okay. Okay.
Just sign the 10 tab, you won't be able to see it back then.
So let's see.
Raise your right hand. You swear you've never been convicted of getting deferred or straight probation in this state or any other state, other than what would have been listed already. And then you have no other pending criminal charges. Your paperwork. You're free to go.
Yes, yes, you have a. Okay, we need a prosecutor. Oh, Miss Maxey?
I'll get my file back.
Okay. Okay, that's Stevenson, Crystal Stevenson.
And Judge,
Yeah.
I'm ready on mine whenever we get to that.
Okay.
Did you want to try and set Mr. Rodriguez's bond before he left jail, or are you gonna wait?
No, I mean, I'm gonna set the bond once I finish with the docket.
Okay, because we're about to transfer it, that's all.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's no point waiting then, I'll go tell him that.
Yeah, I mean,
He's in jail.
no, he's bond gonna get set.
Okay.
Let's see, we got, okay, we're in session and cause number 326-434. Case of style, State of Texas versus Crystal Morgan Stevenson. Stevenson, how are you doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Stevenson, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. Charles Rojas. Mr. Rojas, again, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor.
That's good. Now, Mr. Rojas, your case is set on the court's trial docket.
Yes, sir.
And this case is handled by Miss Julie Maxey. What is your announcement on this case?
We're still ready.
Okay. I think we may have, this case is gonna have to be reset. Ms. Maxey,
Yes, Your Honor.
on, what's the answer? On Ms. Stevenson's case, they have announced ready, this case has to be reset. Okay,
Yes, Your Honor. The state would request a reset. As of right now, I'm having a quarantine.
okay, I understand. Yeah, so, could you, you can stand over there, get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. And you'll be free to go as well. Ms. Stevenson, you have a blessed day. And Mr. Rojas, you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you.
We're putting it on another trial docket.
Yes,
Okay.
they're keeping it on the trial docket. Let's see, Alfred, okay. Mr. Galmore. Let's see, we have Mr. Frederick Moe. Okay, we're in session in two cases, cause number 325050 and cause number 325052. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Frederick Christopher Moe. Mr. Moe is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Moe, how are you doing?
Doing fine, Judge. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for being patient with us. Mr. Moe, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. Galmore. Mr. Galmore, how are you doing?
I'm great, Judge. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Galmore, you have an announcement you'd like to make, in Mr. Moe's cases?
Well, Your Honor, the state just signed the dismissal on the.
Oh, you just signed, okay.
We do not object.
Okay, Mr. Moe, the state have just signed dismissals on these cases. Let's see. And I'm signing those dismissals as we speak. And Mr. Moe, your attorney, Mr. Galmore will be given copies of your dismissals. This will conclude your cases. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
She's already signed up.
Oh, she's already signed up?
She's already signed up.
Okay.
So I guess I should verify that and then make sure it's still in the computer system, but as long as it's still there, I'll be here.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're in session in cause number 326174. Case is style of state of Texas versus Chantel Nicole Turner. We have Ms. Turner appearing via Zoom. Ms. Turner attorney, Mr. Dustin Galmore, is present in the court. Ms. Turner, how are you doing? Okay, your mic is on mute. You could take it off of mute.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, now, Ms. Turner, how are you doing, Ms. Turner?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Ms. Turner, you're represented by Mr. Galmore, Dustin Galmore, he's appearing in court. Mr. Galmore, you have an announcement you'd like to make in this case?
Yes, Judge, we'd like to set this case for the trial docket.
Okay. Do we have bond conditions in this case? Did y'all check? Okay.
You let me do the
Just a-
plain and,
I'm looking at.
naming separate states.
Okay, well, we still have to. Yeah. They still put the meters. It's on page 3. on page 3, the fourth one. Okay, Ms. Turner, I have some standard bond conditions that we're going to give to you. And I'll read the standard bonds conditions to you. And these bond conditions will be given to your attorney so he can give them to you. The document that I have here is titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law Number 2. And it reads, following arrest and or accusation in County Court at Law 2, at County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Okay, condition number 2. The defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol and to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol. And the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body. And that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Miss Turner, do you understand that condition?
I do.
And condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that condition?
Yes.
Okay, now, Ms. Turner, as I stated earlier, these bond conditions will be given to your attorney so that he can get them to you. Ms. Turner, if you violate any one of these bond conditions, your bond can be forfeited, and if your bond is forfeited, a warrant will be issued for your arrest to be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Now, Ms. Turner, your case is going to be reset. What is that reset date? Trial. Okay, your case is going to be reset to December 6th of 2021 for trial. On that day, you have to appear in person and make sure that you stay in contact with your bondsman and your attorney. This will conclude the case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Okay, I have a question. Do I have to appear in person even though I live in Utah?
If it's set for trial, we can't have a trial over Zoom.
Oh, okay.
I will get with her on that, Your Honor, and make sure that the court and the DA's office and the defense is all ready for that trial in that scenario.
Okay, okay. Did you hear your attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're free
Okay.
to go, and you
Okay.
have a blessed day, and take
You
care
too.
of that little baby of yours.
Yeah, I got 2 of them.
Okay. You have a
Okay,
blessed
you
day.
too.
Yes.
This is Turner. Trina, you're gonna have to make a copy of this to give to Mr. Galmore. Okay. I think you have a. We got Mr. Ink. Let's see. Mr. McIntosh, you're gonna be handling Mr. Ingles case?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. This is cause number 320460. The case is style of state of Texas versus Philip Engel. We have Mr. Engel appearing via Zoom. Mr. Engel, how are you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Hold on a minute. Look in there. Did you look in his case, see if you got any bond conditions? And Mr. Engel, your attorney, Mr. Bruce Smith, is not present. However, attorney Charles McIntosh is standing in for Mr. Bruce Smith. Is it all right for you is it all right for Mr. McIntosh to stand in for Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. McIntosh, do you have an announcement you'd like to make?
Yes, Judge, as the court's aware, Mr. Engel is under the weather and has recently been exposed to COVID, so that's why he's not here today. And for those reasons,
This goes together. He's coming back.
yeah, he'll be back. For those reasons, we would just ask for a standard reset
Okay.
to allow him to get his health back and then get back in the courtroom.
Okay. Now, how much time do you need?
Just a standard, probably 45 days will be fine, roughly.
Okay, this is Philip Engel. We're gonna reset him for 45 days. Okay. November 10th. Now, Mr. Engel, before we excuse you, we have some bond conditions that we have to give to you on this case. And I have standard bond conditions. Actually, I'll read the bond conditions off, and then we'll give it to Mr. McIntosh, who will give it to your attorney, who will send it to you. Now, I have a document before me. It's titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law Number 2. And it reads, following arrest and or accusation in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir, I do.
And condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body, and as pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir, I do.
And condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir, I do.
And now condition number 4 only applies to DWI case, so condition number 4 doesn't apply to you in this case. Now, your case is being reset till November 10th of 2021. Your attorney will be given a notice, a copy of the notice of resetting. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. And Mr. Engel, if you fail to adhere to the conditions of this bond, your bond can be forfeited. If your bond is forfeited, warrant will be issued for your arrest, and you could be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, now, Mr. Engel, thanks for being patient with us. You're free to go. I'll stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman, and your attorney will have a copy of these bond conditions to give to you. You're excused, and thanks again for being patient, and have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, I have 3 others from Mr.
Okay.
Smith as well,
Okay.
whenever the court.
Okay. Here you go. Trinity. Copy that. Yes. Let's see. Mr. Bailey, could you get all of the cases that Mr. Smith have? Bruce Smith? On the first page, he has Kendra Stevens, Troy Dorr. We already did Engel.
And then Corey Graves.
Corey Graves.
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, yeah, just, you can give a copy to him when he gets to reset. Oh. Okay, Mr. Grave is on Zoom. We're in session and calls number 324594. The case is style of State of Texas versus Corey Sean Graves. Mr. Graves is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Graves, how are you doing? Mr. Graves? Mr. Graves, you could take your mic off of mute.
Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Graves, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Graves, you're represented in this case by attorney Bruce Smith. Mr. Bruce Smith is not here. However, Mr. Attorney Charles McIntosh is standing in for Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
Does Mr. McIntosh have your permission to stand in for Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. McIntosh, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Corey Graves' case?
Yes, Judge. We have gotten an offer from the government, but Mr. Smith just needs a little bit more time to where he can meet with Mr. Graves and speak about that offer and come to a decision if they're going to go to trial or potentially accept the offer, Judge. So
Okay, how much time you need?
Just the same November 10th date would work, Judge, if that's available.
November 10th? Is that fine? Okay, your case is reset to November 10th of 2021. Mr. Graves, stay in contact with your attorney, Mr. Smith. And Mr. Graves, this will conclude your case. Thanks for being patient with us. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
All right, thank you, too.
All right. We on. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
No,
you're good.
Next case is going to be Troy Dorr. We in session in two cases. First case is cause number 320439. Second case is cause number 329389. Both cases are styled the State of Texas versus Troy Joseph Dorr. Mr. Dorr, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Dorr, you are actually represented by attorney Bruce Smith. However, Mr. Smith is not here today, and standing in for Mr. Smith is attorney Charles McIntosh. Does Mr. McIntosh have your permission to stand in for Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir. Bruce spoke on the phone.
Okay. Now, Mr. McIntosh, what's your announcement?
Yes, Judge, there are two cases in this matter. One was a little bit older than the newer one. Still waiting on an offer on the new one from the government, I believe, Judge. And I believe if we reset this to that same November 10th date, we would be able to have that offer from the government at that point.
Okay. So we're going to reset this case to November 10th of 2021. And you need to get a, what do you need to offer?
Yes, Judge, there's two that have one had already communicated with the government about, but the second one came about a little bit later. And so just need to get with them on that one.
Okay, now, Mr. Dorr, both your cases are gonna be reset to November 10th, 2021. Stay in contact with your attorney. Your attorney will be sending copies of your reset. Also stay in contact with your bondsman. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be, well, actually, you can get your reset here. Mr. McIntosh is gonna get the reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
and you have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you.
I'm ready.
Okay. Kenta Earl Stevens. Oh, that door is locked, Mr. Dorr. We have a number first person on the docket is, did Kenta Earl Stevens, he didn't answer?
I'm just seeing that it's in bathroom.
Okay.
Steven.
Oh. Did we get proof of interlock on this? Okay, this is cause number 317490. The state of Texas, the case is styled the state of Texas versus Kenta Earl Stevens. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Stevens?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Now, Mr. Stevens, you're here, well, you're represented by Mr. Bruce Smith. Mr. Bruce Smith is not here today. However, he has Attorney Charles McIntosh standing in for him. Does Mr. McIntosh have your permission to stand in for Mr. Smith today?
And who is?
He's an attorney, Charles McIntosh.
Oh, okay.
He has your permission?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. McIntosh, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Stevens' case?
Yes, Judge, realize that this case is a little bit older, but it also is it was a blood test, but no alcohol came back, and so that's the reason for the delay. We are still working on looking at the warrant in this case and some particulars in doing with the.
What's that said?
That's the long condition.
That's what I need.
You need a copy of it?
Yeah, okay.
We're still working on some stuff with the blood draw, Judge, and so would again just ask for that same November 10th date. would work.
November 10th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Hold on a minute. Okay, now, Mr. Stevens, that was back on January 26th of 2021. You were required to get an interlock device. You remember that?
I remember.
Oh, did you get the interlock
I
device?
have no vehicle, sir.
Okay, so you don't own a vehicle.
I do not.
You don't own or operate a vehicle.
No, sir.
Okay. Now, any vehicle that you own or operate has to have an interlock device on it.
Understand.
All right. Okay, now your case is being reset to November 10th of 2021. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. McIntosh, you could just stand over there and sign the reset.
Judge, I believe that's all. Oh, I still have one on the trial document.
Right. Let's see, that was Cody Morris. We called and he did not answer.
Yes, Judge.
You can call. He's gonna try it
I'm
again.
going to step out if I may to speak to Mr. Stevens, and then I'll be right back.
Okay, that's fine. Louis Quaid. Feeling short?
I got 3 people.
Okay, I see we got Mr. Galmore.
Please turn in.
Okay, Mr. Galmore, what's your, who's the plea on?
Mr. Jackson,
Ja-
Jacoby Jackson.
Okay, I have that one. Now, are you ready on Mr. Jackson? Do we have the paperwork? Let's see. We're in session and cause number 325-814. The case is styled as State of Texas versus Jacoby Jackson. Thank you. Oh, you need to date it. Oh, sorry. This is cause number 325-814. Case is styled the State of Texas versus Jacoby Jackson. Is that your full name, Jacoby Jackson? Mr. Jackson, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Jackson, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
You may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Jackson?
Fine, you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Jackson, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about January 18 of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Jackson, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Mr. Jackson, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you're actually guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, I have before me a document that is titled to misdemeanor plea admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Are these your initials?
Yes.
And on the next document, well, on the same document, but the next page, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes.
On the next document, which is titled the Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on this document?
Yes. Yes.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Just to give you the wrong discovery certification, I apologize.
Oh, yeah, you gave me, here you go. That was Quade. All right, thank you, Mr. Jackson. I have before me a document that is titled the Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature above line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson, Mr. Jackson, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
Did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr. Galmore?
Yeah.
No objection, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Galmo, you've advised and counseled Mr. Jackson. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson, your attorney, Mr. Galmo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Jackson, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
It's a 180 days jail to be probated over 1 year, $800 fine, 80 hours community service, DWI education course, drug and alcohol assessment, and ignition interlock.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $800 and court costs of $422. The total fine and court costs is $1,222. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You will be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, the total amount of monthly installments, that is how much you would have to pay per month, is $190 a month. Will you be able to pay the $190 a month?
Yes.
You will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, attend and complete a DWI education class, and have an alcohol and drug assessment. You'll also be required to install a DWI interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You will be required to adhere to the other standard terms of this probation as well. Mr. Jackson, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, I'll follow the pre-bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Jackson, stand on the X next to your attorney. You're gonna follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay.
Judge, may I proverbially approach?
Oh, approach from Zoom. Okay.
As the court is aware, I am having to quarantine right now, and I have a COVID test scheduled this afternoon at about 2 o'clock. So will my trials just be reset?
Yeah, that's why we reset the first one. You're gonna reset all the other ones as well.
Okay, Mr. Gilthorpe was inquiring as to whether he needed to come up there,
Oh,
and
okay. Well, I didn't know who the prosecutor was on that. I mean,
okay,
yeah.
so I'll let him know that they're gonna be reset.
Okay.
Thanks,
All right.
Judge.
Thanks. Ms. Spikes, would you come forward? This is call number 325-188, case of style of state of Texas versus LaQuetta Covette. Spikes, we have Ms. Spikes, present in court. She is represented by her attorney, Mr. Bruce Cobb, who's appearing. Ms. Spikes, how are you doing? Mr. Cobb, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor, I can.
Okay, Mr. Cobb, Ms. Maxey is the prosecutor on this case, and Ms. Maxey is unavailable for trial on this case. Do you have any objections to this case being reset?
No, Your Honor, none whatsoever. Also, I might point out for the record, I did file a motion for a continuance on this case too, because of the situation. Miss Spites is she's sick, and she needs to go to the hospital after this. Her case is adjourned.
Wait up. Hey, somebody should have told me that. Well, we don't want to get into a medical condition or anything.
I don't know she has, but she's not been vaccinated. And I need a booster shot, even though I have been. I'm almost due for one. And the last 2 weeks, 4 of my acquaintances that I have known have died, passed away because of COVID.
Ms. Spike's case. Ms. Spike's, the case is going to be reset.
Okay. Can we get a setting for Monday if we're gonna do a trial?
Not this Monday. We have certain trial dates. We're gonna have to give you just a 1 hour regular trial dates. You say on a Monday, any Monday, right?
Yes, Your Honor, because but I want to make sure that she gets whatever treatment she does and she gets vaccinated.
Okay.
Of course, I get my booster shot. Yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Probably 30 days or somewhere
The
in
case
there.
is gonna be reset to December 6th, and that is a Monday.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Cobb, you free to go? You have a blessed day, Ms.
Yes.
Spike. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that.
Okay. Okay, we're in session in cause number 326-904. The case is styled State of Texas versus Quade St. Aubin Lewis. Okay, your full name is Quade St. Aubin Lewis.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Lewis?
Well, thank you.
That's good. Now, Mr. Lewis, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Lewis, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may put your hand down. Okay, Mr. Lewis. Well, Mr. Lewis, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Dustin Galmore. Mr. Galmore, do you waive a record in Mr. Lewis's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Lewis, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about June 21st of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Lewis, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Lewis, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Okay, Mr. Lewis, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Above the line is titled Defendant. There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have that discovery certification?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, I have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Is that your signature? Well, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Lewis, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I just mentioned, did your attorney, Mr. Galmo, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, would you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Galmo, you've advised and counsel Mr. Lewis, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lewis, your attorney, Mr. Galmore, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, I will accept your plea of your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was that agreement?
The 90 days county jail probated over 1 year, a $500 fine, 50 hours community service, DWI education course, and drug and alcohol assessment.
Mr. Lewis, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $417. The total fine and court cost is $917. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month. You'll be required to pay a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You will be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class an initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. The total amount of monthly installments that you would have to pay, that is how much you would have to pay each month, is $160 per month. Will you be able to pay the $160 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll be required to perform 50 hours of community service, attend and complete a DWI class, and have a drug and alcohol assessment. Mr. Lewis, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Lewis, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Lewis, you can stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following the directions of the clerk, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Place your right thumb on the scanner for me. Sign the pen pad. You won't be able to see it, but I can. Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear that you have never been convicted and given deferred or straight probation in this state or any other state, other than what's listed? Don't have anything listed, actually.
Things in other states. Not this state, though, just where it is.
And no other criminal offending charges against you. Alright, so here is your paperwork and a copy of the map. Also, you have your photo ID on you. Okay, you've got a cash form. You can go down to the county clerk's office and you can get a refund on that.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you're welcome. You have a blessed day. Mr. Lemons, would you please come forward? This is cause number 328002. Case is style of state of Texas versus Jonas Renick. Is that Renick? Renick Lemons. How you doing, Mr. Lemons?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Lemons. In this case, you're represented by attorney Christopher Bynum. Was that correct?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Trina, could you find out when Mr. Bynum was appointed on this case? Oh, he was hired? Oh, I can't do a recent or not. Looking at, did you hire?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Bynum is not here. Have you heard from Mr. Bynum?
I've been trying to contact him repeatedly and he is not returning or answered any of my calls.
Okay. Only that, what I can do, I can reset this case to give you an opportunity to contact him. He's not an attorney that was appointed on your case from this court because you hired him. And so we'll reset it. Now, let me do your work.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We don't want you to keep taking off from work and your attorney not show up. And so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna reset it 60 days. Should that be enough time
Yes,
for you to get permission to get off from your job without it interfering with your job?
yes.
Okay, let's reset him 60 days. What's 60 days? That'd be in December. You put him in December. Yeah, we're gonna, December? Okay, we're gonna put you in December 15th, okay? To give you some time to contact and get in contact with your attorney, okay? All right. Okay, get your reset. You'll be free to go, and thanks for being patient with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we I think actually calling as both the trial and announcement docket. Let's see on the announcement docket, page 1. Handled all of those cases.
I'll fax one over to the office. I'll fax one over to his office.
You got one and one down. We took care of those. We got part of it. What page? It was reset? You say on page, you say it's on page 4?
It's on my page 4, but you got reset this morning.
Yeah, I don't have it on this one. Okay. Now, let's see, Rodriguez, we got all of those, let's see. They still have to look into Daigle, Ty Daigle. Look into that case. See if they contact.
Yeah, Your Honor, that's the one that,
Yeah, with Don Lee Smith, yeah, but we need to check and see if somebody contacted the court because neither the attorney nor the defendant showed.
I think the attorney was under the impression that he didn't need to show till the 20th.
He got the 20th. I mean, he got to get the recess through the court. So, I mean, we'll be in contact with him. Or you could be in contact with him. Jail, that's the root. We got everybody on page 4. Yeah.
A reset was faxed on July 19th
Okay. Well, I mean, for what date?
for today's date.
Oh, for the day's date. Yeah, okay, they were saying that he had some communication with the DA's office, this guy, but I mean,
Oh, he did?
yeah, either somebody gonna have to you got a number on it? Yeah, he can make it a appearance through Zoom, him and his client. I think that's everybody on the announcement docket and everybody on the, with the exception of the one case with Daigle. On the trial docket, bond forfeit, well, we didn't get answers from Cody Morris.
Right.
And Al Farrell, that was Miss Max's case. Spikes was Cobb, that's Miss Max's case. Leha, he's in jail. That's Mr. Alwyn Samuel's case. That's not one of Miss Max's case. Miss Maxie, you a CC2B? Is that
That's
how it's
correct, Your
labeled?
Honor.
Okay. Crystal Stevens was, that's Rojas. That was that reset? Okay. I see ready. I don't see a reason. Okay, because I guess we hadn't mentioned, Ms. Maxey hadn't made a statement when Mr. Ross was here. Quade fled. And we got a Robert White that's ready. That's a trial. That's Tom Burbank. And Lawrence Clinton was a pled. So it looked like we got White and Maximo Leha.
Well, you have to, even though you spoke with the prosecutor, you have to talk to reset.
Yeah, at this point, he's got to get his client on the line.
So,
Judge, too, we may work something out on that one.
Okay,
I'll see if-
okay, we'll be in recess to 1:30. Oh, we got an attorney gonna zoom in? Well, strike that. We have an attorney that's getting ready to zoom in. Please. Let me check these, get these judgments. Yeah. Okay, this is cause number 325-720, State of Texas versus Ty. No, yeah, Ty James Daigle. We have Mr. Daigle's attorney, Mr. Don Lee Smith, that is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Smith, how are you doing?
Good, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Were you able to get in contact with Mr. Daigle?
She's working on it right now. He's in college. He's attending school right now.
Okay, let me ask you this here. Would it be best for you? That's I was getting ready to take a recess and we was gonna reconvene at 1:30. Would it be best for you to get back with us at 1:30?
Judge, if I may just address what we'd like to do is set this matter for a plea in person on September 20th at 9 a.m.
Okay, yeah, okay, I understand. But normally what we do is we give persons, they have to make an appearance, either in person, by telephone, or
Sure.
by Zoom. And so if he makes an appearance, that will satisfy either way, by telephone or by Zoom. That
Okay.
will satisfy his requirement to appear.
Okay. Can I have the number for him to call?
Okay. What's the Zoom number? Which one? You're gonna need the Zoom number?
I'll just have him make a phone call if that's okay.
I'll tell you what you can do is have him to call you if you got a cell phone, and while
Yes.
you on Zoom, he can talk over your cell phone on Zoom.
It won't let me do it. It'll kick me off.
So you're on Zoom on your phone. Okay,
Correct.
I didn't know that.
And I apologize for my appearance. I didn't realize it was my understanding it was going to be reset, and I misunderstood.
Okay. Okay, let me do this here. The court coordinator say, give us your phone number.
Sure.
Hold on, which one? You need the defendants? The defendant's phone number.
Okay, I don't have that handy. Once, if
Take care of that telephonically instead of over YouTube.
Yeah, let's get the, yeah, because his number is gonna be over. We don't.
okay, he's on, Judge.
Oh, yeah? Oh, good. Okay. Okay, we're in, session and cause number 325-720. The case is styled State of Texas versus Ty James Daigle. Daigle is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Daigle, how are you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. And Mr. Daigle, your attorney, Mr. Donnelly Smith, is also appearing via Zoom. Now, Mr. Smith, what is your announcement on Mr. Daigle?
Judge, we're going to enter a plea on September 20th at 9 a.m.
Okay. September 20th. Okay. Yes, we'll set you down for a plea on September 20th, 2021. Mr. Daigle, your attorney will be sent a copy of your recess. Stay in contact with your attorney, and make sure you keep your grades up in school.
Yes, sir. I'm about to go to class today in like an hour or so.
All right, all right. We hope that you have all the success with your studies. And Mr. Smith, the reset will be sent to you. Your case is reset September 20th of 2021. This will conclude your case. Mr. Smith, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Daigle, you're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you so much, sir.
Thank
Okay.
your staff. Well, I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all on the 20th.
Okay, you're welcome.
Y'all have a great day. Thank you.
All right, same to you. Okay, we'll be in recess until 1:30.
Thanks, Judge.
Okay.